all you need to know. The Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Brought to you by LIC.
Good morning and thanks for listening in. This is the Daily Morning Update from Bloomberg Quint and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 3rd of February. Here's everything that you need to know. One of the big talking points in the banking space after the budget on Monday was the plan to create a bad bank of sorts. Well, the asset reconstruction company that is being set up to aggregate stressed assets from banks will house legacy bad loans of over 500 crore rupees, according to government officials. The entity will be set up within the next couple of months and will warehouse stressed assets and transfer them to an asset management company managed by a team of professionals for sale. The government's role in the ARC remains unclear though. Financial Services Secretary Debashish Panda said that setting up of the ARC would be cash neutral for the government. And in comments on Monday, government officials had suggested that banks will put in funds required to set up the ARC. But it is then unclear as to whether this would be a government entity or another private sector ARC like ARCIL, which had been set up collectively. Moving on, the government will not sell state-owned firms to only meet its divestment targets, according to Tuhin Kanta Pandey, Secretary of the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. Remember, for the new financial year, the government's divestment target has been set at 1.75 lakh crore, but this also includes the IPO of Life Insurance Corporation of India. A single-judge bench of Justice J.R. Midha of the Delhi High Court has directed a status quo on the 27,513 crore deal between the Future Group and Reliance Retail Ventures. The court said that it was satisfied that immediate orders were needed to protect Amazon's rights till the pronouncement of a reserved order. In its petition dated January 25th, Amazon had argued that the Kishore Biyani-led Future Group had ignored the directions of the emergency arbitrator and continuously pursued regulatory authorities requesting them to approve the transaction. Now, oil climbed to the highest level in over a year as tightening global supplies and signs of strength in the physical markets aided crude's virus recovery rally. Futures rose 2.3% in New York to the highest in over a year, rising back above $55 a barrel in post-settlement trading after an industry group reported another decline in US stockpiles. In international news, Jeff Bezos is stepping down as chief executive officer of Amazon at a time when the company's share price and his personal wealth are both near all-time highs. Bezos is worth $197 billion according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, the highest his fortune has been this year. He's the second richest person in the world, trailing only Tesla's Elon Musk. He will be replaced by Andy Jassy, the head of the company's cloud computing unit. And Myanmar has moved to suspend all flights through April, raising fresh concerns about the army's crackdown a day after it seized power in a coup, detaining senior government officials and activists. A rally was held in the commercial capital of Yangon in support of the army. In international markets, US equities ended strong yet again on Tuesday, and the three early rises in the Asia-Pacific region have started with gains of close to 1% each. And with that, it's over to Hormuz Fatakia for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Hormuz. How are we looking at the start today?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to those tuning in. The party continued for India's markets even after 24 hours of the budget being presented. Both Sensex and Nifty added to Monday's 5% gains, making it the best two-day rally for the markets in 10 months. FPIs were back to buying ways, with the flows on Tuesday being the highest in over 2 months. Early ticks on the SGX Nifty showed that the index traded 50 points higher, around the mark of 14,800. I cannot proceed without making a mention of Tata Motors. The stock was the top gainer on the Nifty on Tuesday, ending over 15% higher at the highest level in nearly 3 years. Tuesday's gains also made it the biggest two-day rally for the stock since October 2019. On to other specific stocks, Tata Consumer Products said that its packaged beverage business saw 43% value growth and 10% volume growth, while the food business saw 19% value and 12% volume growth. Tata Salt also saw double-digit volume growth during the December quarter. International business for the company was steady, while Starbucks saw sequential recovery of 92%, with stores having reopened for business. The company has also signed a definitive agreement to acquire 100% equity in Kottaram Agro Foods, the owner of the Soulful brand. The transaction is valued at 155.8 crore rupees and is expected to be completed by the end of the ongoing quarter. Some earnings from the pharma space. Neuland Laboratories saw its net profit double over the same period last year, while margins saw an expansion of 500 basis points. The company said that Unit 3 has begun commercial production and is currently shipping 2 APIs from the facility. It has expressed confidence that Unit 3 will be a major contributor to its growth going forward. The company in its conference call stated that it is aiming for 15 to 20% revenue growth over the next 3 to 5 years and that the numbers will be better than their conservative estimates. The stock ended very close to its record high on Tuesday. Ajanta Pharma saw 15% revenue growth during the quarter, courtesy the growth in its India and emerging markets business. Sales for the US generics business was flat as compared to last year. The quarterly results of PI Industries were mostly ahead of street expectations. Exports rose 40% from last year, while domestic revenues were up 26%. The company attributed the growth to strong controls in overhead costs along with healthy collections. It also said that all commercial molecules have maintained strong demand focus in line with the company's order book. Vinati Organics' third quarter results were below street expectations. Net profit and revenue were flat, while margins contracted over 600 basis points. Bharti Airtel is the only Nifty name reporting earnings today. The list of non-index names includes Apollo Tyres, Astral Poly, Bajaj Consumer, Jubilant Foodworks, Inox Leisure, Ramco Cements, Indian Hotels, V-Guard, VIP Industries, among many others. Aside of earnings, watch out for GAIL, Power Grid and Adani Ports. CLSA Global Markets has acquired 12.1 lakh shares of Power Grid, 15.3 lakh shares of GAIL and 8.4 lakh shares of Adani Ports as per data available on Bloomberg. V-Mart Retail has announced closure of its QIP issue, which was launched on Thursday. The company has approved the issue of 15.3 lakh shares at an issue price of 2,450 rupees per share, which is at a premium of close to 1% from its floor price of 2,432 rupees per share. At the issue price, the company would have raised 375 crore rupees from the QIP issue. In other news, Brookfield India's REITs IPO will open for subscription today. The company plans to sell units at a price band of 274 to 275 rupees per unit. The company will use the proceeds towards scheduled repayments and general purposes. The issue closes on Friday. And that's all from me in today's midweek edition. I wish you all a safe day ahead, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormus. Well, that's all we have for you on this podcast, but there's a lot more on the website bloombergquint.com, so don't forget to check it out. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.
Brought to you by LIC.